Hey guys, so it's time to talk about Nightwing. I am super excited. I'm Sasha Wood and these are the top 10 surprising facts about Nightwing. Number 10. The name Nightwing was given to Dick Grayson by Superman. This occurs after Superman tells him the tale of Nightwing and FLAMEBIRD, who are two Kryptonian gods. Unless it's a reboot, then they have a slightly different backstory. Dick is inspired by his tale and takes on the mantle of Nightwing. There had been and have been other FLAMEBIRD and Nightwing duos, however Nightwing is now most commonly associated with the former Robin. And it works out very well. It sounds like it would be an offshoot of the Batman name anyways. But why he broke off from Bruce brings us to number 9. Dick Grayson became Nightwing because Bruce Wayne fired him as Robin. He fired him after he was shot by the Joker, which prompted Batman to suddenly realize that having sidekicks was dangerous. It was a decision prompted by concern and love, but the way he went about it was pretty cold, and resulted in a schism that has only recently begun to thaw in terms of current writing. Some costume changes at number 8. During the New 52 reboot, Nightwing's most traditional and least ridiculous costume was changed from having a blue emblem to a red one. This was a change that left many fans going, okay, but why? Well, it was an attempt to modernize the character and also distance themselves from the previous continuity so readers could have visual cues that things were different. In fact, the entire Bat family, or almost all of them, now had a red motif. That and of course they were hoping to sell some sweet new merch. However, it must be noted that Nightwing had had a red costume during the Renegade arc, when he was on a downward spiral working for Slade and the mob. Also Batman and Robin. So this change kind of made him seem like he was evil Nightwing again. Evil in quotation marks. With Rebirth, his costume has since changed back to the traditional blue. Number 7. There was a Nightwing ride in operation at Six Flags New England from the years 2000 to 2008. It has since been replaced by another DC themed ride, Joker's Wildcard. That makes me sad. I need more Nightwing on pointless things he doesn't need to be on. Number 6. Nightwing was a secret agent for a while during the New 52 after faking his death to infiltrate the organization known as Spiral. This was after his secret identity was compromised. Hence we were given the series Grayson that put Dick in this new exciting setting. If you like the spy genre, it was a good time. If not, it was just a slow countdown until he became Nightwing again. And many fans were waiting on bated breath because for number 5, we have the fact that Nightwing is the most sexualized male DC character of all time. He's also up there just in general as one of the most sexualized ever. While it's pretty much an unspoken acknowledgement that most comic characters are attractive, that factor was raised through the roof for Nightwing, especially during the Devin Grayson run of the Nightwing comic series. As an author, she felt that Dick's sexuality and sex appeal was a large part of his character and that it should be played up in both the narrative and the artwork. This expanded the era of ramping up the already significant focus on who Dick was sleeping with / dating, and the loving close-up panels of his glutes, which internet rumor has it are named, one name for each side. In fact, according to fan lore, he has the best butt in the DC verse, even better than Green Lantern. Yes, this is a thing. Which in a roundabout way leads us to number 4. There is a Nightwing hashtag making the rounds at the time of this recording following the announcement of his film. It is Keep Nightwing Romany. There is a fear amongst fans that this element of Nightwing's character will be erased, as Hollywood does not have the best record when it comes to ethnic casting. Fans feel this could be a good opportunity to showcase the tale of a marginalized group. And along with that group of people fighting for representation, there's the group of fans who have been doing nothing but posting close-ups of Nightwing's posterior. They're saying that that's what we really need to worry about, that his butt needs to be cast right. I think my favorite tweet from this has to be either from @Iris, do not cast some white boy with a flat ass as Nightwing, or @CoreyWalter666, Nightwing's ass is a matter of national security. But let's make that level of exploitation uncomfortable with our number 3. So something that I feel ends up on way too many of my lists. Also, this happened during the Devin Grayson run. Nightwing was raped by the villain Tarantula, in a move that caused outrage among fans because, as usually happens with these storylines, at the time it wasn't ever addressed. It caused a special outrage because Grayson stated at the time that it could not be a rape as he could have fought back. This is as he lay paralyzed on a rooftop after witnessing a murder he could have stopped but was too emotionally traumatized to do so. Grayson offered an apology for this statement, saying, "I used a literal rape as a metaphorical nadir, and I know better. Or at least I should have known better, and certainly do now. I was concentrating so hard on other elements of that scene, which felt so much more narratively significant to me, that I totally lost sight of the power and non-symbolic consequences of the gesture I was using. By the time I realized the severity of the mistake and how harmful it might have been to actual survivors of sexual abuse and assault, myself included, I had run out of time to make it right. So yeah, it became a thing that just sort of happened, and now, like a lot of canon, is most often ignored. Something fans have yet to forget at number 2. Nightwing was supposed to die during Infinite Crisis, and the reasoning behind it was pretty weak. Despite his intense fan popularity, the editor, Dan Didio, wasn't a fan of the character. He didn't understand his appeal or function, since he wasn't Batman and he wasn't Robin, and he also thought that he was getting old. The plan was to have him die and have Jason Todd become the new Nightwing. Thankfully, this was vetoed after intense protest by the writing staff, but plans for Todd as Nightwing had already begun, so there was an interesting period of overlap where there were briefly 2 Nightwings. And our number 1 Nightwing fact is, Nightwing killed the Joker. Seriously, not in an Elseworld story or anything. In the storyline Last Laugh, where the Joker learns he is suffering from a terminal brain tumor and hence goes on a massive spree, Nightwing ends up beating him to death. However, Batman is able to restart his heart soon after, but a traumatized Nightwing has to deal with the fact that he crossed the line, which he apparently deals with very quickly, because this is almost never mentioned again. That's something that seemed to happen a lot with the comics from this era of the early 2000s. So those were the top 10 surprising facts about Nightwing. Nightwing is great and deserves more recognition, especially as a character who has actually changed and matured over time. There's so much more to him than a nice rear end. What can I say? I'm a Nightwing fangirl. Thanks so much for watching. Leave all your thoughts and requests down below. I'm Sasha Wood, and like, share, comment, subscribe, and never miss another nerdy list here on Top 10 Nerd. See ya!